What's up, listeners? Everybody inside and outside the gender binary. You are listening to Common Rabble. Today, I am Ham. I will be your host today, and I am here with
Hoodie,
DZ,
Pat.
All right, it's been another long week. But yeah, so what's been up this week? How have you guys been doing?
I'm hungover.
That's great because we're drinking again right now. So
Yeah, for all you listening, we are having what is called a sidewalk slammer.
Sidewalk Slammer.
It's a half 40, half 4 Loco. And I think
good time.
DZ put it best. He said it tastes like spoiled apple juice. And I could not agree with that more. It's not terrible. It is certainly not good.
definitely tastes better than most like 14% alcohol things that I've had, especially recently.
Yeah.
I think that's what that was
Recently?
earlier.
Recently, yeah, for how strong this is, it should definitely taste worse.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think net positive.
Look,
overall.
I'm coming off of the back of a Father's Day just littered with Modelo and tequila, and this is definitely worse than those.
Yeah.
At least this will be better on your stomach than those.
Yeah, my sister took my parents out of town this weekend, so I kind of just went out every night. They weren't home because there's no one to judge me as I walk into the house drunk.
1 in the morning or 2 in the morning.
Walk or stumble?
Walk. I remember, like, I do the thing where it's like, all right, I'm at the front door, deep breath, sober up. Don't let them have any clue.
I'm sober.
Yeah. But I'm sure they know.
I definitely don't remember coming home yesterday, but I didn't drive. So
As long as you didn't find throw up anywhere in your house this morning, you're fine.
I know I yacked, but I also know that I made it to the toilet.
Yeah,
So
no, exactly. As long as you didn't find it anywhere random, you're fine.
This was basically my drinking quota for the next 3 months.
Smart.
So unfortunately, it's not Lent right now, so I can't give up drinking for Lent. But maybe next year.
Have you guys seen that shit that happened with Reddit in the last couple days?
You mean how almost all of the subreddits that I like are blacking out because of the API changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very acutely aware.
Explain like I'm 4.
You
Reddit,
mean 5?
R explain like I'm 5.
Reddit was
also
trying
shut down
what are
currently.
API changes? Also shut down?
Yeah,
That is
we can't explain like we're at 5. Throw the whole podcast in the trash. I can't explain to you like you're 5
if
the
it's
subreddit's
blacked out.
down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The APIs are the way third-party apps access the Reddit site and pull that information to their like I use Reddit Sync. The app that I have uses the API that Reddit has to pull that information over and to filter it into their website. And so it used to be that Reddit wasn't charging these third parties to use that API integration, and now they're trying to change it to a fee structure for how they're accessing it. And what it means for all those third-party companies is that they're going to have to start paying money that they didn't have to pay before, even though their whole business model, more times than not, is centered around running ads on your version of Reddit that you're using. And those ads aren't paying Reddit itself any money, if that makes sense. But from what I heard, it sounds like the CEO dude was like watching what Elon Musk was doing with Twitter and realized like he can make a lot more money by changing to some like subscription models and like charging people for usage rather than the way it used to be, because it's like a public forum. All the moderators are unpaid, so they're like pissed off about it. They're like, we're not getting paid to do anything, but we are the like backbone of your website. And then Reddit doesn't care like at all. It's like it's like bottom line is the money that they're going to make at the end of this.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're going to like just switch over to making sure that everybody's paying them for whatever service that they're using. Or for the API services that they're using, and just like either screw over or kill a couple Reddit apps is really what it sounds like, because they're trying
to make it all proprietary.
Yeah, and it's realistically like these companies are making money off the ads that they're running to you on Reddit that you wouldn't see from Reddit, the website, right? So they're getting money off of that, and if they're paying for the API to like paying Reddit for the API, they aren't going to be able to make as much money off of just running ads. They're going to need to either run more ads or like try to find a system where they're not running ads or something.
In addition to that, a lot of especially on mobile, most of the third-party apps have a distinctly better user experience than the actual Reddit mobile app. It's common knowledge that Reddit's proprietary app is kind of garbage. Hence why both DZ and I use Sync. A lot of people use, I think it's called Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo's the other one. It's like a third-party company.
There's also RAF, Reddit is fun. And a lot of these have features as well that for both users and moderators that make the experience just overall better, more fun, a little more engaging, makes it feel more of a community type thing, which at the end of the day is what Reddit is. And so in killing off these third-party apps and forcing everybody onto the Reddit app, it's really tearing the community of Reddit apart.
And one of the issues with that is Hoodie was saying, that there's like extra mod tools that have made it easier for people to moderate the communities faster, like get rid of bad posts and all that crap way faster and make it more seamless or whatever. But the Reddit app itself isn't as good. Reddit in the past killed one called Alien Blue. That was one of their a competitor to their app. They bought it.
That was the one I remember using back in the day.
And they just bought that shit and killed it and integrated some of the stuff into the main Reddit app. And then there's other features that like Reddit Sync uses, Reddit Is Fun uses. I think there's a Reddit app, like Apollo is probably the one that's focused more on moderator stuff. But yeah, the fact that they'll get rid of those and they don't really care, it's going to force people to use the Reddit app mainly or find another way around it. And something I heard was that like this is the reason that Dig died. It was the same thing. Do you know what Dig was? It literally is Reddit before Reddit was Reddit. It was the same upvote, downvote message board system. And it died because of like how their API worked or something like that. And they were trying to charge people or something like that from the get-go. And Reddit wasn't like that. Reddit was open source or whatever. And everybody was like able to freely access it.
So do you think this is happening because Reddit sees however many people are jumping ship from Twitter and they're trying to capitalize on monetizing their experience?
I think part of it is like they know how useful of a resource they are. And they know that people can't just stop using it, just like Twitter. And that when Twitter switched over to its like subscription package where now anybody can buy us verification, that's how they're theoretically making a lot of money. And I think the goal is to do something like that, is to move it so that they can just make more money off of the usage than they were before, because it's like they only make money off of ads. And they want to find a way that they are making money off of something else, not just ads. Everybody needs the subscription model. That's what's realistically the main thing that everybody, all the main companies are looking at, like Adobe, Apple, Google. Everybody has their own subscription model for something because they have to get guaranteed income. And that's like a guaranteed income every month that's not going to change for the most part because you'll forget about it or whatever. And I mean, it's the same thing. I feel like it scales up to those big companies. That they need to find a way to make money off of every company that's going to use it, probably based on the number of users or the number of calls to the API. So like if there's 1 million instances of somebody using that app or whatever, they'll charge them per however many instances are running rather than just like you're using it this month. Yeah. I'm sorry to get too long-winded about that, but that's just like, I feel like it's going to change a lot of stuff, or like we're going to get forced to Quora or some other website that's, yeah,
you're not going to Quora, no matter how big it is. That's just
Quora is the Luigi board website, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, Quora. I'm just wondering how you think some of those monetization changes will be implemented. Like, do you think they'll put mod tools behind a paywall, or like on Twitter, you have to pay to be verified now? Are we going to get paid verified Reddit accounts?
So I don't know if it'll immediately trickle down to the users, and I think it's mainly focused on like the way Reddit can get money from the third-party companies that are using the APIs.
Okay.
So I don't think it'll trickle down to us.
Yeah, I was wondering about it on a pleb user level.
I think we're fine, but it will fuck up our experience if we're using, like, do you use the standard Reddit app?
I actually do use the default Reddit app, and I don't really
have a problem with it. Yeah. And
it
realistically,
doesn't load half the time for me.
Really, that's trash.
I say realistically, it could be a totally fine app. I've gotten so used to what I have and like the way I've used, the way it's been customized and set up for me. I like the way it looks and the feel of the app and everything.
Yeah.
For Reddit Sync, but I pay for like the Pro edition from like 10 years ago.
Okay.
I just still have the same Pro subscription that I bought a long ass time ago with some Google Play points, right? But I think, I don't think it'll trickle down immediately. I think it might trickle down in the form of costing us money to buy the new apps.
Okay. Interesting.
If Reddit itself will just have the free app, but then you're going to have a more ad laden experience.
Gotcha. Unless you want to pay.
So, Ham, as the wrestling fans at the table, one big thing for me that's changed with all of this happening is that my primary source of wrestling news, r/squared circle, has gone completely dark to the point that it's not even in my list of subreddits I'm subscribed to anymore. So
I haven't seen it in mine either.
yeah, it's gone pretty much.
Did we actually mention the boycott yet? That in response to these changes, a lot of subreddits have gone private indefinitely.
That's the second thing, because there was an initial blackout, and then there is, like you said, the more long-term ones that are stretched out because they don't think that there's any real change.
It was like 2 days at first, and then most subreddits, it seems like, decided that wasn't effective, so they're stretching it out.
Yeah, I think there was something about the way the moderation tools work or something that that the CEO was trying to play that these people, the moderators, are like using their power for evil essentially, and like not doing it for the
Very
best
funny
of the
coming
website.
from the CEO.
Yeah, right. Like, and I saw something calling them like something gentry, and it's literally like they're just like fucking shit up to fuck it up, and not actually trying to do anything for a cause because it's not doing anything, is what it came down to. And it's like, that's just like, because the CEO is saying something about not seeing any financial loss from them doing that blackout. And it's like, well, I clearly don't think you understand the point.
I mean, with that said, it has split a lot of these subreddits communities because some of the subs are holding polls like, should we continue the blackout? Shouldn't we? Others are just, the mod teams are basically saying, with the mod tools that we have, with all these third-party applications dying, it's going to be too difficult for us to realistically properly moderate, so we're shutting down the subreddit. And then you see a lot of users getting mad at the mods because they're like, well, this is our community too. You can't just take this away from us. Except they can.
Because they're the ones that are not being paid and the ones that are making sure it's running correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, when I was browsing through Reddit at work the other day on my lunch, I just felt a little bit disheartened by it because, we all enjoy these communities, I think, and that's really cool. But at the same time, it felt, I get where people are coming from. They're talking about, oh, well, what gives you guys the right to shut this down? Like, why don't we have a say in it because we're the users and X, Y, and Z? I get that. But at the same time, we're not putting in all the work to moderate these subs. So until we are, do we really get to sit here and yell at the mods over them being unpaid and doing this kind of because they want to? And
it's not even like we're paying for it.
No, not at all.
And barely with the ads. I got ad blockers and stuff like that. It definitely is like my favorite form of social media, though, and it kind of sucks, like that and TikTok. But it sucks to see that might go away.
I mean, if you're listening to us this far, if you've stuck with us, would like to thank you. We are also on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio at Common Rabble Pod. Please feel free, give us a like, subscribe. Got content coming out.
And, reach out, hit us up. If you have questions or anything you think would be fun for us to cover, we're always open to suggestion. We usually source our own topics, but hey, if there's anything you guys want to hear, we're game.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Before we get off the topic of boycotts, I just wanted to touch on, as anybody who's listened to us long enough knows, I love the A's. Even though I always talk shit, I do love the A's. That's the reason I talk so much shit about it. And we just had the reverse boycott over the Coliseum on the 13th, I believe. And I had said for a while, I don't see the point. Like, this isn't really going to change anything. And do I realistically think suddenly John Fisher's going to have a change of heart and sell the team? Hell no, of course not. Do I think they're not going to go to Vegas? No, I think they're still leaving. With that said, everything, I did not go because I was at work, but I'm regretting not going because it was, I don't even want to call it a spectacle because I don't think it was a spectacle, but just to see this many fans turn out for the Coliseum for a team that is
community, like,
yes, because that's all.
Event.
Like, honestly, for the longest time, I know the A's have been losers for a really long time. They have not won a World Series in our lifetime, which is okay. I've always been okay with that because the community and the fan base behind this team is what mattered the most. And to basically see that being killed off is why I've been so irate and talking about how the A's are just absolute garbage. That much is still true. They're not good, but I didn't care when they were bad, and I at least knew who the players were and knew that, yeah, you can pull up to the Coliseum and they can lose 20-0, but people are still going to have a good time. You got the drummers and the right field bleachers. You've got the chants and everything. Can't do that when there's only 2,000 people. So
yeah, I saw a picture recently during one of the games, or like a video clip recently, and it was like
empty.
Dead.
Yeah.
There looked like there was less than 100 people in the stadium or something. It could have been 100, but it was like looking real sporadic.
I mean, I remember going to games as a kid where, you'd get like 40,000 people there and the Coliseum was packed and it was a really good time. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So just to see it in the state that it is right now is honestly a little depressing.
The other day there was a K-pop concert the same night as the A's game, and the fact that they were able to do that and have traffic from both the A's game and the Twice concert going.
It was the same day as the boycott.
That was the boycott.
That was the same day as the boycott.
Wait, Twice
and
was
the
here?
game?
And Twice, yeah.
Yeah, Twice was here that same day.
They were also there the day after.
Was the day before and that day.
Damn it.
Oh, before.
So they were the day the boycott happened and the day of a game the next day. Like there was a game the day after the boycott, I think.
There was, yes.
Back to back.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But like, so Twice was here the day after the boycott. That's when my partner went to see him. Was the day after. Because I just remember going into that traffic. It was terrible, but they were able to do it. Like the concert was delayed, but because like I would imagine that there's a point where you could completely fill that entire parking lot with just the A's stadium.
Once upon a time we did,
but now they were able to fill two. They literally expected it. I'm assuming that they were not going to sell out that game. And
they haven't sold out a game probably since we were kids.
Gotcha.
And so since we talked about the concert, one thing that I found really cool, I'm a big Green Day fan. So seeing, Billy Joe turn up at the A's game, still supporting.
Love 80s Joel.
Stop. Ham. But just because... I remember going to a lot of fireworks games as a kid, and they would always play Lights by Journey, right? And so I was always like, oh, yeah. The A's have Journey and Metallica. Then guess who started winning World Series? Oh, the Giants started winning World Series. So where did Journey and Metallica go? Across the pond. And I was like, okay, you guys are snakes. But Green Day hasn't given up on us.
They can't. They're from Berkeley.
I mean...
Piedmont?
They're from like
El
Mendo,
Sobrante,
bro.
I think.
But they live in like Berkeley.
They're from Mendo, or like half of them are like from Mendo. But
That's
they claim Berkeley, but whatever.
beside the point.
Yeah.
Beside the point.
They started as a band in Berkeley. I think that's true.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
they grew up wherever the fuck, doesn't matter.
Gilman Street has the history and legacy it does, not just because of Green Day, but that's got to be a big part of it.
Local punk, yeah, that's a thing.
Like Bay Area punk owes a lot to Green Day.
Yeah, I will
And
say
the Gilman.
I mean, yeah, honestly.
I will say that it just feels super disingenuous of the A's to like for the past 10 years have their whole marketing campaign, probably longer than 10 years at this point, be about like community.
Rooted in Oakland.
Like, yeah, like the entire PR campaign, looking back on it, it's just like, yeah, we were all fools for like thinking that any of that shit mattered. Because like the second that they saw money somewhere else, they're just going to fucking take it.
Well, what's worse is they're still doing it. Like they keep posting on Instagram, oh, A's give back to Oakland, this, that, and the other. It's like, why are you guys even bothering?
Just go.
Which is why I feel a certain like a kind of way about the reverse boycott. It's like ultimately you just put more money in their fucking pockets. Like, yeah, you're trying to show them this is what you guys are losing out on by not staying in Oakland, but at the same time, it's like
you gave them a
just gave them a
hurrah.
large influx of cash just to say fuck you. Like, it doesn't feel like a fuck you.
See, this is why I had been so kind of against it, because I'm like, what is it really? It's not going to keep them here. Yes, I love the idea of getting the community together and giving the finger to the front office and the ownership and stuff, but did it really do anything? Because guess what they posted like the day after the boycott? Oh, hey, look at this fat check that we're cutting to charity. I guarantee you that fat check was not the ownership handing out money. They were like, oh, cool, we made so much off of that one game. Let's donate it to charity because we're the good guys now. Nah, fuck that.
Hey, we still have room for like $50,000 in tax breaks. We cut that charity check, right? All right, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, to wrap that side up, last week we did have a little bit of a long-winded episode doing our MCU tier list. Just want to see if over the past week has anyone given any extra thought, anything we didn't get to mention towards the end of the last episode?
Oh boy, Ham, I gave it so much thought. I actually went back and I watched as much of this list as I could.
Damn.
It could not have been more than 2 movies.
No, so I didn't bother with the S tier because I'm pretty confident in that. Same with like the A tier. It was more so like the C and D tier. Not so much the D tier. The D tier is, they're all pretty bad.
Just for recap's sake, what do we have in S tier?
So we have Guardians of the Galaxy, Daredevil, Avengers 1, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Infinity War and Endgame made it to S tier.
Yes.
Okay. That Endgame made it into S.
I think we all kind of agreed that it's about as bottom of the S tier as you can get.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
But
I feel fine with that.
I still feel good about putting it in S. Like, just because if we look at what we have in A, I think it's better than most of those movies, i.e., let's just run a couple of them. Captain America, Winter Soldier. I saw that too, and I was just like, I don't remember that. But yeah, I think not Infinity War. Endgame was a very fan servicey movie. Similarly, I felt the same way about Spider-Man Can't Go Home. But I would still put Endgame slightly above Can't Go Home.
Yeah, if we're judging the movies on like how fun they are to watch, then fan servicey is perfectly fine. Like, we're not sitting here with our fucking Egert and Robert hat just trying to like pick apart these movies, because realistically, like, maybe one would be an A tier if that were the case.
Yeah, but like I don't think it's not that serious. This is just for fun. It's our opinion. But I will tell you, I think the thing that really pushes Endgame into S for me is Portals. That moment was absolutely incredible. I remember sitting in the theater, sitting there staring, my contacts getting all dry. I was like, yo, this is one of the most lit things I have seen in a movie possibly ever.
Yeah, I feel like it was the last time I really had fun at the movie theater was those 2 movies.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I would say I had fun for Infinity War, at least not at the end.
I went to Bayfair for that, so it was pretty lit.
I think the last Marvel movie I saw at Bayfair was Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah.
Speaking of that, real quick, when we were talking about Westfield, they did have a movie theater, and it did just close, or is closing as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
It was like a Century Theater or something like that.
Next to Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
You're right. But that's the other wing of the
I
mall
know.
no one went to.
Yeah, that's why. So they're closing down.
Okay, so I did do my homework for this week, and one thing immediately that needs to be edited: Thor: The Dark World does not belong in C tier. Thor: The Dark World is so bad.
You watched it?
I had to, on account of, Ham and I had some pretty heated debate on Thor: The Dark World.
Yes.
It is so much worse than the first Thor, and the first Thor
It's not
is
great.
Good.
There is no good Thor movie except Ragnarok is passable. But Thor as a character is great when his name is not in the title of the movie. He's so good in the Avengers movies.
Is the Dark World Fat Thor, or is that
No, that's still Thor when he's trying to pull off his best Shakespeare.
There is no Fat Thor in the Thor movies. The Fat Thor was just
Avengers.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
That was just the Avengers movie.
He plays
Post
Fortnite.
I didn't kill Thanos depression.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, I will say, how are we gonna put Thor Dark World above the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special?
Wait, we didn't do that on purpose. I think it's not ordered, remember?
The Christmas special?
And
No, I'm talking about how is Christmas special in C?
That means
You
it's
think it should be in
above
D?
Dark World is in D.
No.
okay,
should
so
be B.
Thor needs to come down.
Okay, I'm fine moving Thor
Okay.
down, but we also have to move down Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
I'm okay.
Has
I
anybody
see no
watched
problem
it?
with that.
That can be at the
Guardians
Saw
Christmas
parts of
special?
it.
Yeah.
I watched it like when it came out, and that should be telling that I did not watch it again.
D tier.
Is it
Yeah.
like Star Wars Christmas special level?
Oh,
Like that's what they were trying to achieve?
Star Wars tier list coming up.
God.
That's 30 years of content.
Just throw it all in
Oh
F2.
yeah, no, that's gonna be great. We're gonna include the EU stuff, all the extended universe stuff.
Holy shit, that's 50 years of content. What am I talking?
Ah, oh, you're right.
It's the 70s. Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
so
rank the theatrical cuts and the extended cuts.
Separate
Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World definitely moving down. Guardians Christmas special moving down.
Gotcha.
All right.
I wanted to reiterate after rewatching both Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, they are bad. They are really,
Amazing
really
is
bad.
Tom Holland or
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Oh, gotcha.
I feel like the first one wasn't that bad. I feel like putting them on the same level
Is that the one
is
where
bad. That
where
feels bad.
where he like drops his girlfriend on her head a little bit? Or
That's
whatever?
the second one.
I gotcha.
Yeah, he
Just a
dumps her.
little.
Okay.
Great. She's just like
Camp.
doesn't she just like kind of hit the ground and
I
then
haven't
dies
seen
though
it.
or something?
I'll 100% agree with you that the first one is better than the second one, but not
one
good
is
enough
C
to
tier
get it.
material.
No.
But bad still isn't good. So
Yeah, you could polish a turd, but it's
Yeah.
still a turd. Yeah. And what I wanted to say was that Andrew Garfield is a legitimately good actor and honestly was a legitimately good Spider-Man. They just absolutely murdered him with the writing and the script. It was not good, which is a damn shame, really.
All right. We'll revisit this next year
Next year.
when there's
So-
10 more movies
So
to
when
add
it
to the list.
when it comes to these tier lists though, the next ones I'm thinking, like tell me if I'm wrong, if this sounds bad, but like we could do like 2000 to 2010 specifically Cartoon Network shows.
Does Samurai Jack fall in there?
Yeah.
S tier.
Samurai Jack, Dragon
the
Ball
reboot.
Z.
I don't know. Do you count Toonami?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's on Cartoon
Tsunami
Network.
was on
Do we
Cartoon
count,
Network.
do we
I
count
think-
Adult Swim?
Technically, yeah.
It was on the same channel,
I
so-
think we go for the animated stuff for even Adult Swim, and I think
It's all
most of it.
animated, right?
Okay. Moral
Most of it,
oral
yeah.
S tier.
Yeah. Big facts.
Where I'm going with.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like Adult Swim / Toonami should be separate from the Cartoon Network tier.
I'm going to
I feel
agree
like
with that
there's
on a.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
like that period of time, 20 to 2010, is like very like much of a formative time for all of us. And either Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or Disney Channel is what we were watching. I'm assuming you're Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network people.
Yeah, I didn't watch Disney
No
Channel
Disney
at
Channel
all.
stuff, right?
A little Sweet Life here and there, but
Okay,
that's it.
yeah, I got you. No, that's fine. Like, because
Cory in the House?
siblings also used to watch
Cory
that
in the
same
House.
shit too.
My favorite anime. Is that still a thing people say? Is that still?
Not
This is
since he
why
got
Reddit used to
arrested.
shut down.
Yeah, there was a weird period of time where I switched to watching just Disney shows because I felt like watching live action shows just felt like the mature thing to do
That's
for some
very
reason.
funny.
Like 11-year-old me was like, I don't watch cartoons anymore. I'm not a child.
I watched these two
Like,
blonde children run around a hotel.
Realistically, your mom was like, "This is the devil. I need you to watch this show. This doesn't have the devil in it."
Yeah,
Why can't you
Pikachu,
behave like
Satan,
these
I
two
get
little
it.
white
Yeah.
boys?
But I was thinking at least one of those might be a good idea.
That's a safe bet.
One of the big.
Yeah, I like that.
And
You
any
could
other?
also do Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I would
Like
just say
Cartoon Network or
Cartoons
Nickelodeon.
from that era.
Are you ready, kids?
There's a lot
Yeah.
there, and we would have
a
to be
lot.
selective about the initial tier list that we're pulling. I think because we could be selective about that, like the tier, like we could do both Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network because I think that makes the most sense. Because I don't want to include any of the poor cartoons. The stuff that I used to watch when I didn't have cable.
Please define poor cartoon.
Shouts out Arthur.
Saturday morning cartoons, like Sonic Go. It's
Gotta
called
go
Sonic
fast.
Go. Yeah.
Sonic
WB,
X.
you're saying WB is
Oh,
we didn't
yo,
have
kids
cable.
WB?
I didn't have WB growing up. I had Cartoon Network. I didn't have
Because
WB.
you had cable. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I didn't have cable unless that month we paid somebody to steal it for us. So like,
Right.
so a bunch of like, I mean, also like I was watching Zaboomafoo as well because we didn't have
You
cable.
had 4Kids and PBS.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the other one? Because it was like Kids WB did one, and then there was like
Was 4Kids on WB? Or is that
think
it?
4Kids was
and then like
both.
I
Okay.
think
4Kids WB was just the dubber. They were just the dubbers.
ABC did a Saturday morning or Sunday morning
probably
cartoon thing
did,
as
yeah.
well, and that was the weirder ones that weren't like mainstream, but also the Caillou shit and all that.
Where was Cubics?
Cubics? 4Kids,
W-
W.
okay.
Yeah.
Also
Okay.
that show.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah, Cubics. That was
Yeah,
the
I like
shit.
Cubics.
Robots for everyone. Cubics. Yeah. Fuck that. That show's great. The original Transformers, but not.
Transformers
original-
has been around since like the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Cubics has been around since, the 90s or something, or 2000s.
you know what
Literally
is-
the year 2000.
You know what is still around for some fucking reason?
No.
Transformers movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Crazy.
So recently I had to watch it, obviously. And I just watched with our friend the other day the first episode of Beast Wars again. So bad. The animation is so bad.
I want to say for the deep lore of this pod that DZ was riding hard for Beast Wars since the first episode of this podcast. So I feel like we like mentally manifested this movie to come out at this time. So I just want to say like this is like a culmination of 10 episodes worth of like
Anticipation.
however many hours we've spent in the studio.
So from the top of that movie, it's not good. Like from the beginning of it, the way that they animated the Maximals,
That's what they were called. Maximals?
The Maximals is that series of those Transformers. Yeah, it's the Maximals and the Predacons. Technically, would be from that time period. Like that's the show, the TV show, the cartoon. It takes place, and it's watching the Maximals and the Predacons, and they're the way that this movie kind of spoilers. The way that this movie kind of like explains everything is that Optimus from the Maximals is named after Optimus Prime, so he's Optimus Primal, but he's from the future, but he lives in the past. And he's been on Earth since before Optimus Prime got there.
Hey, yo.
It is literally the most annoying part of time travel. It's like they had to make this stuff work the way it does.
Of course, there's time travel in this shit.
Yeah, so that it sucks. Like that was the worst part about that.
I feel like that's a tight twist. I love it.
Yeah.
So when did he say, I'm turning into a truck now?
So I'm so upset. I got played by TikTok. I'm now upset that I even watched the movie from the get-go. And honestly, they might as well have been saying that shit the whole time because, like, literally on TikTok, you can do AI voice audio, like voice to text of Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
That's what that whole movie sounded like. Like previously,
It was an AI Transformers.
yeah, like previously, it sounded like the actor was doing it because the speech didn't sound as broken. Maybe TikTok has destroyed my brain. Maybe it actually did just sound like he wasn't doing normal voice patterns when he was talking, and some of it sounded like you guys did some cuts weird there or something, because it just sounded like when people are making bad TikToks with Optimus Prime talking to their cats.
Question: who voices the Optimus Primal? It's not that guy who does Optimus Prime in the Transformers movies, right?
I want to say it is.
It is. Is it like the same? Because he has a very distinctive
They
voice
both have
and
a
speech
very
pattern, and
They both had the same.
protect the Allspark.
Yeah, they both have the same similar voice.
Okay, because like his voice is sick. Like
Yeah.
whoever that voice actor is like he's earning his keep.
He's the pack of cigarettes dude that's like clearly like his
Pack of
voice is
cigarettes.
destroyed, but it's like it works for him. He's making money because of
Okay,
it.
just wondering.
Okay. Since we're on the subject of Transformers, I want to go all the way back to the first Transformers movie real quick, just because there's just something that's always bothered me. But you remember how the movie ends, like they beat the Decepticons and stuff, Starscream escapes off into space. The movie ends with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, like they're all parked on the hill, and then they start getting a little frisky on top of Bumblebee's hood, which is already a little bit weird because the car's alive, and he's like, all right, I guess.
The car's alive and horny.
Apparently, but also the entirety of the Autobots are just sitting there parked on the hill watching them. Like, tell me that doesn't bother you at least a little bit. I'm just
Is that the last scene, and is that how it ends?
Yeah, and I think this is all while Linkin Park's "What I've Done" is playing.
It's not what I've done.
It is what I've done. No, it's absolutely what I've done.
Transformers have been voyeurists since before the voyeurists existed.
Wait, is that a later Linkin Park song? I consider
2008.
I consider that later because anything after Meteora,
it's before 21 Guns, but after the early
Green Day.
I mean, not 21.
Also, 21 Guns came out the same year, I think.
What's the Linkin Park? Isn't it another Linkin Park album after?
One More Light?
Minutes to Midnight.
Minutes to Midnight. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, and that's the album with What I've Done on it.
To me, then never mind.
Minutes to Midnight is old.
It is.
Is it?
I'll pull it up right now.
Oh
Look.
my god!
And New
Jamie,
Divide was
pull
for,
that up for me.
Damn.
and New Divide was for Transformers 2.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
New Divide. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you're thinking of New Divide.
Oh, I'm sorry. Minutes to Midnight was 2007, but right there, under Shadow of the Day, What I've Done.
It's the shadow of
R.I.P. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah, Ripperoni.
So the best part about that movie is like they reduce the number of explosions, which I feel like destroys a lot of the Transformers movies. Just like they just do stuff to blow stuff up.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, and I'm not about that. Like I feel like that's taken a lot away.
All right, I just did some deep researching. Optimus Primal is Ron Perlman.
Oh, no shit.
What?
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
right. Who is Optimus Prime though?
Peter Cullen.
Nobody
Okay.
knows who that is, but yeah,
Any relation to Edward?
Jesus.
Jesus.
You
It's
don't
his
know
dad.
who he is, but you know his voice.
Yeah, that's cool. Then, like, I guess there's kind of a difference. They both have that distinct voice. I can see Ron Perlman pulling that off very easily. In the cartoon show, it's definitely like they were going for the original Optimus voice. The thing I don't like about the cartoon show is the head shape of Optimus Prime after he transforms from the ape to the robot is just the Optimus Prime head.
On the ape.
On the transformed ape body. It's like clearly
That
they
looks
just
weird, yeah.
Yeah. It's like fuck. You guys really went. It's obvious who he's created after.
Just so you don't forget who he is.
All right,
and
so this Cullen dude, just for reference, he plays Optimus Prime
in everything.
and Eeyore.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And it's every Optimus Prime though, right?
Yes,
Like
yeah,
it's
he
every
is-
Optimus
he is
Prime.
the Optimus Prime voice.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Not yet.
Okay.
I still want to
No,
watch
I
it.
So
too.
I haven't watched it yet. My girlfriend and I are planning on watching it because we read like the first paragraph of the synopsis on Wikipedia, and I just distinctly remember reading something like, they're all starving, so Eeyore agrees to let them kill him and eat him. And I'm just like, wait, what?
That's how it starts.
Apparently.
I'm glad Eeyore finally got
It's
what he
got
wanted.
real bad ratings online, but I imagine
It's like
probably
3%
bad.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
I believe so.
3%.
It's real bad. It's supposed to be real bad.
That's
but
impressive,
I'm
actually.
still interested. The Transformers movie does get very meta and referential, like talking about Marky Mark. And I'm like, this motherfucker was. I just watched the other movie with him in it.
He's only in one, right?
Yeah, he's in that other, like the last one that they did or whatever.
Okay.
But he is in it, and they reference him, and it's not like he's playing himself in it. He's playing
They just reference Mark
some Jaeger
Wahlberg.
dude. They reference Marky Mark leaving the Funky Bunch.
So okay, this is where it gets confusing. So Mark Wahlberg plays a character
Yes.
in the old Transformers movies, but in the new Transformers movies, they're referencing Mark Wahlberg, the actor, in real life.
leaving the Funky Bunch.
So how can he be two people?
So he exists in the same world that he is an actor.
Okay.
I don't know how.
So
but it's the same universe.
So in Beast Wars, the first 4 Transformers movies are actual movies.
in Beast Wars, they meet Optimus Prime.
Okay.
And it takes place. Is it just after the last movie, or just it's in the middle of one of the other movies, or somewhere around
ask
it?
me.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember, but it's one of the times when the humans have stopped trusting the Transformers, so they've been in hiding for a
Should
while.
have never trusted the Transformers. First of all,
and the dude that Mark Wahlberg is pulls a big ass fucking artillery shell out of Optimus as a truck after he bought him from auction, and then he just turns back on, like back into a Transformer or whatever the fuck.
And that's when he says, "I'm turning into a truck now."
Unrelated, back to the VA thing. This dude's been voicing Optimus Prime since the 80s.
I said that he has been every Optimus Prime.
I didn't realize it was that old.
He is the same guy.
Also, he was a voice in the GoBots.
Yeah.
Which I
was he
feel like
Optimus Prime as well?
No, GoBots is the fucking.
Isn't there a leader?
Walmart, no, that's the Walmart Transformers.
But who's the leader of the GoBots?
I don't know. It's GoBots.
I think he also plays the leader of the GoBots. Is the thing in that
he does the same voice.
I want to say it's the same.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
GoBots, roll out.
Yeah. Overall, though, that movie is not great. The fight scenes are pretty solid. Like it's not a bunch of explosions. It's not just like things getting blown up and thrown everywhere. Like there's some like pretty decent fight scenes. The way that they like animated the Maximals, I think I said at the beginning, it's not great. I don't really like it. It doesn't seem like authentic to the cartoon.
Movie like 99% CGI, 98%. It's like all CGI, right?
I mean, all of the Autobots and the Autobots and the fucking Maximals and whatever the other Decepticons are that I forget what they're called in this movie.
Deceptibeasts.
There's some other thing because they're not part of the Primes or I forget what the hell it is.
The Skrulls. I don't even remember what I was saying anymore. It was so it's like two human actors, CGI robots, CGI landscape, background setting. It's just like and that's what I'm imagining.
The biggest thing of this movie, there was like a couple like actual actors, a ton of CGI, and then at the end of the movie, at the post credit scene, the dude flips over. The main actor like flips over some papers that is given to him by some like government agent, and it says Organization of G.I. Joe. So they're like,
oh, that's the teaser.
That's the teaser. So they're gonna make a crossover between G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Barbie or something.
And Barbie.
Wait, I gotta waltz in here real quick. Most of the G.I. Joe movies were not great, but Snake Eyes was really.
Oh, did they did make G.I. Joe movies already?
Yes,
huh?
and Snake Eyes was really good.
If you find out the name of the main actor from this movie, he's probably in one of the old G.I. Joe movies, and that's no. Well, I mean, I don't think it matters, but I think that's what they did. I never saw the G.I. Joe movies, but the main dude from this, I think that they.
So you're saying this is
retconned
absolutely
him.
no information?
Huh?
You're saying this is absolutely no information?
I'm pretty sure that they
retconned
because the government agent that he's talking to is the main dude from the old Transformers movie, from the other Transformers movies. So I'm pretty sure they just did the same shit where they just
retconned them in general.
Into one of the other G.I. Joe movies.
So you know how like G.I. Joe and Transformers were cartoons when we were kids?
Yeah.
Definitely some of the best theme songs.
Yeah.
Go Joe.
Real American Hero.
Oh, Joe.
I mean, I still remember the old Transformers theme song. Like, that was so much fun.
It's like 5 words.
Transformers.
Oh, 4 words. Transformers
Robots
is 1 word.
in disguise.
One word, a lot of syllables.
Transformers, robots in disguise. Yeah, 4 words.
4 words.
A lot of syllables.
4
So
words.
yeah,
Say them
Pat's
and I'm
right.
yours.
I mean, aside from those, what are some really great theme songs you guys remember?
The 4Kids TV version of Sonic.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
I don't know it.
It's hyper specific.
It's
like
the best part of that. The theme song is probably the best part.
Yeah,
of
that show sucked ass.
It was so boring for a show about Sonic. He's hardly in it. He's asleep most of the time.
I literally could not watch the show. I just remember I'd watch the intro and then change it to something else.
I watched the show because I just simp for Sonic that hard.
Yeah,
but
Hey, if we're talking about 4Kids, I have one word for all of you: Yamu.
Yamu.
Yeah.
Yugi.
I remember in like 5th grade before an assembly, they were like playing that on the PA, and I was like, "Oh my god, this!"
Are you serious?
Shit.
Yeah, got me so stoked for whatever that assembly was about.
Dude, I think I
They sold
donated
you
it.
yo-yos after that.
Yeah,
Probably.
like a little-
Dude,
Yo-yos.
oh my God, stop. I had a dual disc as a kid. I remember that was
bet.
the
What do you
coolest
mean? The
shit.
dual disc is on your wall
I was
right
saying,
now.
it's probably
No,
upstairs.
I think I got rid of it.
It's in the closet.
I'm pretty sure.
Don't lie.
If it's here, I'm gonna bust that shit out next week. And I'm just
next
I'm
week
gonna
opens up
summon
with the
3
sound of, like,
monsters in the same turn.
Pull it down, and then you and Ham can play Magic the Gathering on it.
That's hilarious.
No. Me and Ham will play.
It would damage my cards.
Ham and I will play
Good.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It'll damage the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Good.
That's fine.
Just
We'll get
I don't know how to play
the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
dollar
It's just
store
gonna be
Yu-Gi-Oh
pot of-
cards.
I play Pot of Greed.
Speaking of that, have you seen the dude on TikTok that challenges people to Yu-Gi-Oh battles on live with a dual disc?
Yeah.
No.
It is the most A-coded stuff that I have
Does he
ever seen.
give them their own cards because no one would have cards?
No.
No,
Like,
I
it's other
promise
people
you,
with dual
everybody
dual
else
discs,
that does
like-
it has a dual disc too.
Where
and
is he finding these people to
on
approach
TikTok
them?
Live.
Okay.
Literally TikTok, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's where you
wouldn't
virally
be
connect to your
surprised.
communities.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised how many of those people are on TikTok.
So this is like Pokemon Go, but instead of it just being everybody on their phone bumping into each other,
Yeah.
there's some real Yu-Gi-Oh community out there that's like, it's time to da 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 da.
Have you seen the video of the dude at the card shop playing Yu-Gi-Oh? And then every time he gets hit, he makes the life point noise every time they attack him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the video I thought you were referencing. I thought it was the video of the dude who straight up, has anime protagonist syndrome, and he's like, and I play Pot of Greed, and then does his whole turn, and like it's over.
I play
and
Pot
like he
of
does the
Greed.
glasses push like 50 times.
No.
I don't think I've seen that one, but I know the
Ruben,
you were talking about him.
That dude thought he looked so damn cool.
For just some more deep lore, our local game store,
Which one?
the one over here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They had to ban Yu-Gi-Oh from the store.
Because of the body
back
odor?
in like the early 2010s, because they said it just attracted riffraff to the store. Like they said once they banned Yu-Gi-Oh, they would have people like do like bike drive-bys and throw like sodas into the store. Like it got really bad.
That's wild.
Just a bunch of bitter ass
So
children.
the ban was justified.
Yeah,
100%.
clearly.
It's not children. It was like
Grown ass adults.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like
yeah,
you
which is
think
why
Magic
they banned it. They don't even sell any kind of Yu-Gi. They don't even sell Japanese size sleeves there anymore. Like
if you think Magic the Gathering players are bad, Yu-Gi-Oh players are so much worse.
No,
it's
I
like
gotcha.
the Street Fighter versus Tekken communities.
I feel like Magic the Gathering requires a little bit more
They're
like
analogous.
mental effort to play than
Absolutely
Yu-Gi-Oh
not.
does.
No,
No,
fuck that.
really?
Yeah,
You don't think you have to remember?
I don't have
more?
a high enough reading level to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
You just have to remember. Oh, gotcha.
Like there's so many words on a Yu-Gi-Oh card now. Like I remember back in the day when I would play Yu-Gi-Oh, it was like this is literally like
Pot of Greed. It has 7 words on it.
no, yeah, draw 3 cards. Like that was as difficult as the game got. But now like shit, you got to come with like 4 different decks. Like
Draw 3 cards,
Yeah.
but if you're not patting your head and rubbing your stomach, then you draw 1 card, and then your opponent draws 2 cards. But if they fail to draw 2 cards, then you have to draw an additional 7 cards. But you have to supposit one of those cards, and then you can only pull it out the next time you play Reborn the Monster.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that
You
sounds
can
about right.
summon from your or your opponent's graveyard.
And games are like over like that. One turn will take 5 minutes, but it's over in that one turn.
Yeah. Okay, so non-animated, but a show that I distinctly remember from, I think, probably all of our childhoods that had a great theme song. Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe.
Stop.
I don't know.
Ham,
Can you
don't do
repeat
this
the
to me.
question.
Huh?
Can you repeat the question?
There was a question? It was a statement.
Those are the lyrics.
Oh. You know how long it's been since I watched Malcolm in the Middle?
Damn it, I
the
said
only
it. Cut that.
That's okay. I hit
Damn,
you
cut
earlier
that.
too.
Fuck.
You know, I
Hey,
was never.
You're not the boss of him.
Thank you. See, that's the part I remember, Ham.
I just remember that there's a bit of like Bret Hart in the video for it.
That tracks.
Yeah, they do cut to a wrestling scene or whatever.
Is it when Bret Hart got kicked in the head by Goldberg for realsies?
I don't think.
Is he getting like slammed? I think someone's getting slammed into the.
I don't care. I didn't like Malcolm in the Middle.
It didn't resonate with you.
No.
Yeah, what about The Office?
The Office theme's kind of annoying to me now. I like The Office. I've tried rewatching it again. Like the first time I watched it, thought it was great. Immediately rewatched the whole series. But not now. When I try to rewatch it after like the fourth season, I kind of
Just
like, whatever.
Just go into it thinking Pam and Jim are evil people, and then it all makes sense. It's way funny.
When you look at them as the bad guys.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force probably has
classic.
one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
jingles.
Check out the
Definitely.
extended remixed version if you haven't heard that. It's on the soundtrack to the movie.
Okay.
It's worth a listen. It's
For
good.
sure, for
Hey,
sure.
also, not the theme song to that show.
I want
but,
candy.
Shout outs for A1, MCP Pants.
Yeah.
I want candy. That was
Bubblegum
the
taffy.
ish right there.
Candy.
Bubblegum and taffy.
Yeah, not
We
a theme
should have
song,
made
but-
all of our contacts instead of Common Rabble Pod. It should have been 612 Wharf Avenue. For all of
not
the
too late.
contacts.
You can change that.
612wharfavenue.com. Have it redirect to Common Rabble Pod.
Mess up the mix up the mess. Come on down, yo. Here's the address.
612
Wharf Avenue.
But yeah, I feel like Aqua Teen is really well known for a lot of just the random music shit that they would
That's
infuse
kinda
into the
true,
show.
yeah.
Like it's hard to forget any of that shit.
Yeah, but the theme song definitely a classic in my book.
Oh, Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, that's
That one should go
instant
without
classic.
saying.
I feel like anime theme songs are just on another level because like I can
Almost
sit here and
cheating.
list.
Yeah.
I can sit here and list just anime theme songs from my youth.
How does the Samurai Champloo theme song go? It's been so long.
It's the New Jabe song, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's New Jabes. Okay, that makes sense. I was
it's the
gonna.
Way of the Samurai.
Okay, I just haven't heard it in a long time. I'm sure it's good. My one anime choice, which I think maybe is just like
It's called Battle Cry. My bad. Yeah.
okay, is Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
It's like how-
yeah.
Exclamation
I
point.
don't even fuck with Cowboy Bebop like that, but like that song is just an all timer.
I agree with Ham though. Like when I looked at best theme songs in television, I was like, it's mostly anime in my head.
Yeah, I kind of grew up a weeb though, so like I don't really know if that was normal for growing up in like the mid 90s.
What, being a weeb?
Yeah, like just like
Not in the way it is
think-
now.
I think because of Toonami, it made it possible.
yeah.
Like I think that was like the toe dip for a lot of people. Like a lot of random kids to actually see that shit was like that. And then like Sailor Moon when we were younger, like the fact that was there as anime, but like I feel like that was a more heavily accessible one because I remember I watched that shit because it was like not on cable
Say,
when I was younger.
Yu Yu Hakusho theme song.
Yo.
Absolute banger. To this
remember that one
day, I
either.
still slap that shit in my car on my way to work. Like that is the one.
Now I know what to listen to on my way home.
Just listen to the theme song from Bo 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 Bo.
Bo 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 bo.
Yes. I don't even remember that.
Hey, One Piece rap.
Yeah. One Piece rap.
Shouts
absolute
out.
classic. The only good thing to ever come out of One Piece. I will die on that hill.
Dreaming,
Don't give it up, Luffy.
dreaming.
Don't give it up, Zoro.
All right.
Don't
we're
give
good,
it
we're
up,
good.
Nami.
I'll do the whole song. I know it.
Yeah, Toonami is like the soundtrack of like my entire childhood. Like Rock of the Dragon, dude. Like that was the
Yes.
that is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
banger.
Yup.
Okay, not a television theme song, but we used to we would hang out with A1 and we would play Budokai 3. The Budokai 3
Budokai
opening
3
song is a masterpiece.
Yeah, look up the original if you haven't heard that before. Like this is like OG Baby Dragons, like amazing, like just stupid, like Ibanez guitar licks. But the song doesn't exist anymore in any copy of. They did an HD remaster of the game, and they removed pretty much the majority of the soundtrack from the game because apparently that dude plagiarized the majority of that whole thing. Like every lick on that soundtrack is just the melody from another popular.
Took it from Larkin Seal.
Does explain why it's so good, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, he ripped off like Elton John. He ripped off like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like really, like
it's
not even deep cuts. Like these are like
It was pretty blatant. Okay.
Yeah, like when you hear them side by side, you're like, damn, this dude.
Even the menu music in that game is good. So
No, I know.
yeah.
Like the whole soundtrack is really good. Man.
So I'm like thinking of ones that are like, I don't feel like they made like full length songs, or they are full, like Angry Beavers. Like I feel like that was a very like solid music intro that like it clearly
that one I
wasn't
think
just
is elevated a
easy
lot
bullshit.
by the animation for the intro.
yeah, good. They're dancing and everything like
They're
that.
dancing
yeah.
and like fighting and like fucking each other up, and
Yeah.
they're falling through all these weird.
It worked really
triangles,
well.
and
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
the soundtrack is like it really complements the action and the intro well. I think.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that one, then Danny Phantom. But I think that's also like similar, that like the video intro went really well with the music in that one.
I can't
if you're gonna-
remember that one.
If you're going to throw Danny Phantom in there, I'm going to throw Fairly Odd Parents.
I think
for
Fairly
sure.
Odd Parents.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's clearly solid because they visually animated that shit like perfectly.
Yeah.
Hey.
throughout that whole song.
The intro song for Fairly Odd Parents was not the best song in Fairly Odd Parents. We all know it was Chip Skylark. Yeah.
My shiny teeth and me.
Shiny teeth, shiny teeth.
I was singing that the other day. It's truly been stuck in my brain since the moment I heard it as like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, right?
It will
She's
never
so
leave.
icky.
Oh, yeah, Icky Vicky.
And I forgot about Icky Vicky.
Also,
That one didn't quite.
I'm going to throw an unpopular opinion in here, and I know it's unpopular because we already talked about it pre-pod, but I got down with the Code Lyoko song.
Code Lyoko.
Return to
All
the
I remember
Past.
from it.
I don't remember it at all.
And said Code Lyoko a bunch of
I'm
times.
trying to
and then
think of
there's
it,
some
and I'm
interlude
just
in between.
thinking them saying the words Code Lyoko, but it's the Wario
It's like
World 4.
it's like
For some reason, I can't picture
they
Code
say it, and I
Lyoko.
want to say it's like harmonized or something like that. It's not as. I was literally gonna say that, but I couldn't remember if there was an actual intro to that show,
Yeah, it had
the
something.
WWE, like SmackDown and Raw, like the intros to those shows when they come
Okay.
on.
Oh,
Wait.
absolutely.
I just
Early-
couldn't remember,
yeah.
like,
They're
'cause I'm like,
different. They
I'm like,
changed every couple
I'm like,
years.
am I thinking of the fucking video game soundtrack, or was there actually?
So when I remember it had to have been like 2000. I think it was
hear
this.
You don't
This
even
was
have to play
Papa
the
Roach.
music. I can hear it.
I need you
This is-
to pump it up a little bit. Just throw me a little bit of volume in the ears.
This was when they changed it to Be Loved. Yeah. Dude, when
Yeah.
they played this at Sick New World, I was going off. I was like, yeah, time to RKO somebody. Let's go.
What band does this?
Papa Roach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
I
not
like
playing
one
through the
before
audio
this.
though, right?
The one
Oh,
that was
come
I don't think
on,
it's fed
come
in. I
on,
think
come
it's just
on. Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, it
Let's
should
get
just
it
be
on.
fed into the.
Yeah.
That's hype. That's hype as hell.
That song was called like Around the World, I think, but not by Daft Punk.
Around.
No, yeah.
Oh, do you guys remember when we would gather here to instead of podcasting, we would watch wrestling together? Yes, I can hear this intro. You know, like
You don't need to
images
hear
you can
all of it.
hear.
You just-
No,
that's it, yeah.
I could hear it.
I need to hear a little bit of it. I just need to.
I just remember booting up the PS2
SmackDown versus Raw 06.
Raw, like,
Yeah.
Oh my god. Every
This
time.
is this is exactly what I was thinking of when I was thinking of it. I was like,
Okay, so 2005 WWE Raw intro.
Is this?
Will live in my brain forever.
all I can think of is my little brother starting it, my stepmom yelling at somebody in the house about something needing to get cleaned. It's sitting on in the room, fucking playing the intro over and over again for 30 minutes while we go do stuff, and you can just hear it in the room playing over and over again.
Nobody turns it off. No one turns off the TV.
Exactly. Just leave it. Just go do what we're gonna do because nobody's allowed to go touch it until we're done.
Hey, since we were talking about that, like the mid 2000s Raw and SmackDown themes, A1.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Never.
But
been-
when
never
we
been
started
better.
watching wrestling together here,
Garbage.
I remember at the time SmackDown had that Nickelback song. And then it went
it a
from
Nickelback
It
song?
was a Nickelback song. And then I think it went from the Nickelback song to AC/DC. And
Yeah.
I like AC/DC, but no, this was wrong.
Speaking of Nickelback, the worst Nardwuar interview I've ever seen was the one with Nickelback. That was the most uncomfortable interview. Like it just was not entertaining.
Were they
at
not
all.
about it?
They just weren't entertaining. They're
weren't.
dead,
It's
like they are
Nickelback.
fucking boring. And like he's kind of cracking some jokes at them, and they're just like not catching them or something.
They're just not engaged.
No, they're they're just so bad at it.
just because I saw featuring Drowning Pool on here, that reminded me. ECW.
ECW.
Bodies, come on.
That, yeah, R.I.P. that guy as well.
Oh, yeah, yep. Whoa, was that Michelle McCool? Throwback.
Man.
Oh, dude, Paul London and Brian Kendrick.
Which one of them was a pirate?
Looking at that side list of
Paul Burchill
of videos.
Oh, never mind, you're right.
That side list of videos that are up there, the Boondocks has one of the better musical
Boondocks.
intros.
Yes.
Very
Didn't even
good.
know.
Actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's is it Common Lupe? Who's rapping on
It's not Lupe.
It's not Lupe. Okay.
It's not Lupe.
I don't think it's Common either.
Very fucking good.
I'm the stone that the builder refused. You know. I think it is Common actually. Now that we're hearing it.
Is it?
Sorry, listeners, you can't hear this sweet copyrighted audio.
Hey, but if you have the I don't remember the word I'm looking for, but hey, you could just pull it up while you listen to us, and then you could listen along with us. Then it's almost like you're in the room. How cool is that?
It's like you have friends. Wow.
The another thing I was gonna say that I was thinking of, but it's not an intro song because like the intro song is not as great, but like they have a ton of songs like Bob's Burgers. The music that comes from that show, like the ending jingles that they fucking create sometimes.
Or the mid show full on song.
Like the one about Topsy the elephant and getting killed by Thomas Edison. That shit's pretty solid.
Pretty good, yeah.
But like the ending jingles are always very fucking solid.
The only song from Bob's Burgers I will ever say I like is the one where he starts driving taxi cabs at night. Where they just use that like 80s ass like deep singing voice. Driving through the dead of the night.
The skirt of the night. Yeah.
That's
a good
favorite.
one. Yeah.
But otherwise, I hate when shows just like do music randomly. I'm like,
I think H. John Benjamin is doing pretty good in them because he's in like all of them.
He is. No, yeah, H. John Benjamin, my favorite voice actor. Like H. John Benjamin, if you're listening to this, please reach out.
Archer,
but.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, the
crossover
Jazz
episode?
Daredevil is what I recognize him as. But yeah, I can't do musical episodes of shows, and like I feel like Bob's Burgers didn't used to do it, and now it like every
they got
episode
real hard
there's a
into
fucking
it.
Song.
So I tried to watch Grey's Anatomy one time, and I was doing really well until I got to the musical episode. And after I watched that episode, I could not watch Grey's Anatomy anymore. I was so upset.
That stuff has literally killed 3 separate Netflix shows for me because at the same time, every Netflix show added a musical number to their show. Like one of the last couple episodes of their show is a musical episode, whether it be that Sabrina show, it was like the Sabrina one. It was Riverdale. There was like 2 other random Netflix shows that did the same thing. There was just like one of the last episodes in the season. The whole thing is musical. I stopped watching. I just lost so much interest.
Anyone who's listening, if you have an opinion on musical episodes, I don't think it's a hot take to say most people hate them. Let us know what you think in the comments. But for now, we'll see you on the other side of the break. All right, we're back from the break. Editor, if you can put in some audio of like news cutting in, like because we have news to talk about today. So Biden is visiting California to address some climate change shit. I don't know. I didn't read the article, but yeah, it's just something we kind of know about here in California because we're one of the more forward states about the way we address a lot of the climate shit. We're one of the more progressive states dealing with it.
Every friend I know that's a car person hates on California because we have emission standards that mean that they can't drive their old piece of shit on the road anymore.
Yeah.
Because it won't pass smog.
Exactly.
Yeah, like literally every other state you can drive a car straight piped, but California, you have to have a California approved cat.
Even though a bunch of people straight pipe it anyway.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
We don't
if your
like
pipe has a little curve, just a little.
we don't like having all of the surfaces around covered in a fine layer of fucking smog and sediment. Like,
Okay,
most places.
Since we were talking about straight pipe in cars, I saw this video for the first time in years the other day, but you guys remember whistle tips?
I was just gonna say, zoom.
Oh yeah.
The whistle, they go, woo! That's such a classic. I love that. Where is Bub Rub now? Bub Rub, if you're listening, please reach out.
In California a while back when like Trump was in office, I remember he came and he was talking to Gavin Newsom about it and like
What are you talking about? Sweeping the forest?
sweeping the forest and like
Dumb piece of shit.
No, so realistically, he clearly heard something about that and had a half truth in his head, but like something that used to happen in California that was banned in like the last decade was like controlled burns that Native Americans were doing all over the forests in California because they were like land stewards or something like that for a lot of the federal lands. And I think they brought it back more recently because of the wildfires because they were so fucking bad. And I think Canada did the same thing where they stopped the natives from doing the controlled burns because it seems dangerous.
Stopping the natives from doing things? What?
I know, right? It's almost like they're also the same way America is with their natives. Or worse, who knows?
Hashtag land back.
Editor, if you could pipe in some audible shock.
Yeah. Some gasps.
Dun, dun, dun.
But yeah, like the whole like controlled burn thing, I think is definitely like a clearly
Works.
is a helpful.
It's something
viable
that
option.
works, yeah.
Yeah, and like we've known about this for years, and for some reason they stopped it. I imagine there was some agency said that, oh yeah, this is probably bad and can do bad stuff, or some like NIMBYs got pissed that there's natives setting forests on fire or something. But hopefully we get back to doing more of that stuff. Something like help us.
You ain't setting a fire in my Arcadia.
Exactly. Can't do that up in the beautiful state of Jefferson up north, right?
Free state of Jefferson.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that like we should definitely be doing. Anything we can do to help combat the wildfires. Like we got lucky that we had like a drought-ending storm happen and like pulled most of California out of drought conditions.
It's a drought pausing storm, like realistically speaking.
Because we don't know if it's going to continue. Like we're going to get little bits of showers here and there. So I mean, hopefully we do. Hopefully it's like it's a break from what's been going on for like the last decade. But I mean, it could get worse. Like it could be too much rain. Like I know that at times it seemed like that was the case. Like
our infrastructure is not prepared for rain. We were not designed to deal with it.
You should have stopped it. Our infrastructure is not prepared. Yeah.
Okay, so I work in tires, right? After the rain, when all those potholes opened up, I have never, I mean, I've seen people blow out their tires hitting potholes, right? I've been doing this for a long time, but nothing like that. And we're not just talking blown out tires. I had all the motherfuckers that drive Beamers and Mercedes come in, we take off their tire. Oh, your rim is fucked. Like, fucked. Like, yeah, we not much we can do for you because you drive a car that doesn't have a spare tire. We can put on a new tire for you. It's gonna leak because your rim is fucked. And then they get mad at me and they're like, well, why is my rim broken? I don't know.
Because you drive like an idiot.
I didn't hit the pothole. Well, I've never hit a pothole. I'm sorry. That's my tangent. Moving on.
I was say I even had to go to you to repair a tire, and I drive a Prius, which means I'm only ever going 15 miles per hour at any given time.
Yeah, but you at least your rim wasn't fucked.
Yes, I mean I stopped driving immediately. That's
I've fixed your car. I fixed A1's car. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, no problem. But it's just like, dude, if your rim is destroyed, what do you want me to do? We're a tire shop, not a body shop. Come on.
I told my partner, I was just like, we can make it back to the house.
Hoodie.
Yo,
You see this? This is the sinkhole by my house.
Yeah.
oh,
Okay,
a
It
sinkhole.
is 2 feet across by like 2 feet deep.
Yeah, pictured is 2 traffic cones inside of a hole
Yeah.
on the street,
And it's
One of
also
them
filled with
completely submerged.
and then also filled with trash. Yeah.
Just like the rest
Somebody
of like where we built.
Somebody cleaned it out, and then there was nothing blocking it, so you couldn't tell that it was there until you got right up on it. And I was like, that's gonna literally murder somebody, because that shit is like the size of a tire. Your whole thing will get stuck in there if you get in there. Yeah, that would not be great.
Well, I won't be driving near you guys anytime soon.
Yeah, be careful.
I'd be really surprised if you did. Like, what?
And it's got to be because of those rains that, like, I feel like it's been a while since the roads were as bad as they've been lately, and like,
absolutely,
because of those rains, it pulled like so much more than normal, or just like amplified the destruction over the last like couple of months. Because even like more recently, more stuff is still crumbling because of it, and I don't think Oakland is catching up anytime soon.
No. Well, I mean, even the freeways are just absolutely torn up right now. The last time I had to
80.
Yeah, exactly. The last time I had to drive to San Jose, when I was coming back up, headed north, I was like, oh man, because it's just like
everywhere
over by Milpitas.
Literally when I saw that accident, after that I thought something happened to my car too, because I was like, what is wrong with the road? What is wrong with my car? And then after I got to a smooth patch, I was like, oh no, I'm fine.
Funny story, when I was driving out to Hayward yesterday, we had just gotten on the freeway, and I'm not sure if it fell from someone's car, but there was this Mazda that was getting on the freeway, like 2 cars in front of me, and I just see them going along, and then they swerve, and then I see like what looks like a piece of the bottom of someone's car, like the metal piece, like the weather protector or something. And I mean like metal, not
skid
the
plate.
Little plastic.
Yeah.
And I just see it come whoop, right out from under the Mazda, and I'm sitting there. I turn to my girlfriend. I'm like, they are really lucky they didn't just pop a tire, because it was like the plate and then like the connecting bar. So if they had gone over it the wrong way, that would have boom.
Yeah, that would have been bad. When we're thinking about like what's going on with this climate change stuff and like how it's affecting us locally, the fact that Joe Biden's coming here to talk to Gavin Newsom, I can't, like, I assume that it is because he's like, he's just giving us money. He needs to make a public appearance. Or is it to talks climate and raise cash? Yeah.
I mean, he also has to start prepping for his re-election campaign.
Yeah.
So
definitely that. I mean, he's got to show
that for sure.
But coming to California feels like lip service. It's like you're not telling us anything we don't already hear from our own California government. Like, he needs to be going to fucking Kentucky to.
Well, they don't want to hear it in Kentucky.
That's the thing. It's like he can't be in public out there because he's got a target on his back. But like.
And I'll take this above our last president, who was like, oh, California's on fire, let it burn. I could give a shit.
Okay, so it looks like, they're trying to raise more money because they're worried about the sea level rising. A bunch of the Bay Area is fucked.
I was going to say, they should talk to Florida. They should be going to Florida to talk about that shit, because literally within... Like,
them too. Us too, though.
Yeah, but
I know.
In the same way you said,
it's not as bad as.
Well, we're going to lose a chunk of the Bay Area, and then we probably have as many people living in the Bay Area as live in Florida. In those same areas is the thing.
You said Kentucky doesn't want to hear it. Florida doesn't want to hear it.
They don't. They don't give a shit
Possibly
about it.
more
But
so.
On the subject of, parts of the Bay obviously getting ready to sink, like if things go really, really wrong, we won't have a podcast studio.
Yeah, I was saying, I know Hayward's
time.
like a floodplain on a fucking fault. So they're not doing well anytime soon. But
the what is it? The Transamerica building over in SF, the big tower.
They just found out
sinking.
It's leaning more than they thought, and then after they were doing a discovery search again to see how bad it is, it started sinking faster. Or shifting faster.
It's also sinking.
I don't want to see the end of.
And I'm realizing now that this the sea level change. I was talking to our friend that lives in Hayward, and he was telling me that there has been historic sea level increases over the last like 24 days or something. So that might also be contributing to why that old man is out here talking to the younger old man. But like realistically, it's for the best. Hopefully, like something good does come of that. But like we as California, the fourth largest economy in the world or whatever, need to be bearing the brunt of a lot of this. And like whatever they can do, like knowing that we're contributing to pollution, we're contributing to like drain on the grid, whatever the fuck, we also contribute the most, like some of probably the most amount of like tax dollars back to the federal government. All that being said, while all of this climate change stuff is happening, I think it makes sense that like everybody do what they can to like you move forward to make sure that they're making as little impact as possible on the climate. And being that we've been around the longest, we've had the longest time to like evolve through every step of like the worst, most polluting shit to more like carbon neutral stuff, more renewable energy. Like California has days that we go with like 89% renewable energy for a couple of hours. That's great, right? But other countries don't have that opportunity because they don't have the ability to like have gas plants or
But the thing about that is like
coal plants.
how are we gonna expect other countries to try and like follow
We foot
in
the
our
bill.
footsteps? And okay, I get that, but follow in our footsteps when 48 of the 50 other states in our own country don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how are we supposed to expect other countries to do shit?
We are
And, like,
we are at a level that the other states are not. We
Yeah.
are, like I said, the fourth largest economy in the world. We are not like we're not on the same page as any of the other states. They can think that. They can say, don't California my Texas or my Florida, whatever. They literally don't. They pale in comparison in every aspect of like daily life to economic standing to quality of life to education to California for the most part, pretty much every state. So I don't really care what they think because like we have more power than a lot of them do.
Yeah, California's just built diff.
Yeah, like because it's like I know it's like the U.S. is up there, but like the fact that we're number 4 after the U.S. means that most of the U.S.'s economic standing is from California. So it's like we have a big dick to swing around, to put it in the worst words possible. Like, but yeah, no. That being said, I don't think that it's fair that any developing country or like country that has been subject to the U.S.'s fucking turmoil or like their CIA operations or whatever, I don't think any of them should be subject to having to like greenify their own countries. I think we should be paying to help bring them up to a standard that we expect them to live by. We brought them into the trouble they're in most of those countries. If they had resources or like I know most recently it's like Venezuela and then Mexico tried socializing their resources and then like Venezuela got couped again. And the U.S. is talking about sending troops to Mexico now because they're worried about the safety of our border and the cartel, but it's conveniently timed right after Mexico said that it's going to socialize its natural resources. And the U.S. has the craziest habit of doing that every time somebody takes control of their
Bananas,
sugar, oil, gold. It's lithium in Mexico. That's what it is. It's the the largest lithium deposit ever found in the
interesting.
world.
Okay.
And America wants it. America is pissed off that they're not going to privatize it and sell it to whatever Elon Musk owns subsidiary or whatever that's going to profit off of it. So they're trying to bully them, and Mexico has still been like, no, we don't give a fuck, and has continued on with their process. But from what I heard last, the U.S. is like trying to push some troops over there to take control of something.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, but no, I think the U.S. should take more responsibility for what it caused in a lot of those places. And like, if there's a country like Africa or something, like if for Africa, I think it's France. France should completely pay for any type of upgrades because France is solely responsible for the debt that they're like, or holds most of the debt that they owe and is like fucked them over harder than any other country. So like,
You mean like countries
continent.
in Africa? Yeah.
yeah,
Not
every
specifically all of
country
Africa.
in Africa has been fucked by France. Sorry, that's what I was trying to go for.
Okay.
And like, there's certain ones that have been fucked harder than others, and like, because some of them have already like turned to China because China is giving them a better loan deal. That doesn't mean that they are owned in perpetuity by France. Like France has some shit stipulations in a lot of their contracts and loans that is like, oh, anything we do for you, we own forever. It's not yours. We're going to like build stuff in your country, but we own it. And then China's similar, but it's like, we're going to build stuff in your country that means you're going to be a more productive citizenry. And you can pay us back for it later. Because you're going to be like a better, more prosperous country. So we'll see. There's like a bunch of countries in Africa that are working with China right now. So, you know, the U.S. should do the same thing and not expect it to just be like a profit-seeking venture, or else there's no need to do that.
Honestly, the thing with the climate thing is just like I'm tired of people talking about it in the perspective of like profitizing and trying to fucking do giga capitalist brain shit on protecting the climate, because if the climate gets fucked, we all die.
There's nothing to
there's nothing we can do. Elon Musk isn't going to fucking Mars. He's not going to be able to take the couple handful of rich dumbasses that are willing to go with him. It's not going to happen. Like, if shit hits the fan, we get covered.
Yeah, it's crazy because recently Shell, the gas company, I've been paying attention to them a lot recently. And it turned like they fucking released a statement, the CEO saying that like they are going to focus on green and renewable energy as long as the profits are above 12%, essentially. All economic models show green renewable energy, whether it be wind, solar, battery backup, all that stuff, has a possible profit margin of like 8%. In the meantime, Shell knows that. Shell's known that for a while. So they publicly said, essentially, we're not going to do shit unless it gets to 12%. And it's not at 12%. And us not jumping on board will make sure it doesn't get to 12%, because it will only become more profitable if they invest in it and make the price of it cheaper.
So other people have to invest in it as well for it to be more profitable as a whole.
Exactly. Because it needs to have more demand in order for it to actually be like something that people are willing to pay more money for. Because realistically, that's the only way that they're going to want to do it, is if like they can charge a premium for green energy. Because like right now, that's a thing you can do a lot of times, is like you can pay a little bit extra to make sure that the electricity you're getting to your house was during green, like through green programs or whatever, or to make sure that it was renewable, or that you're paying to make sure that like the certain number of kilowatts you used was equal to the amount of available green energy or some shit like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting that black market illegal electricity.
Yes. I need to tie my shit to the telephone
got like
pole.
3 dogs on wheels in the backyard, like powering the generator. What are you talking about?
But yeah,
that technically would be green renewable energy, now that I think
it's not renewable. You have to feed that something.
Oh, right. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know how science works, bro.
we're
We were literally talking about Marvel movies this morning. What the fuck do we know?
Yeah. I think we're on a path.
Because like California, I think the big thing is like California making that statement about banning like fossil fuel powered vehicles.
So it's a ban on the sale of new fossil fuel vehicles produced after 2035 or some shit like that, or 2025. Yeah. And it's like, that just means that no new vehicles can be sold.
Yeah, it's not taking anything off the road.
Yeah, and that's not what people think.
No, I was going to say, like, because I've got like a Trumper uncle who's just like, I can't believe they're doing this, whatever. Like, we've had these cars for years. It hasn't been a problem. And I'm just like pointing at the sky. Like, the sky is fucking orange in New York. What do you mean? Like,
it's looking like Oakland did 3 years ago or whatever it was when those fires were happening.
2020, right?
I think so.
Man, that was crazy.
The first year of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I woke up to go to work at like 4 a.m, and I like literally woke up and like opened the curtains, and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Those blue and yellow purple hills, you know? It was crazy.
Like literally driving to work like in the direction of the sun. Like that shit was terrifying. Like literally driving to work, I was like looking at my partner like, this feels like we're in like fucking Silent Hill or some shit.
Yeah.
Like this is not normal.
So when I was driving to work during that whole incident, me being the asshole that I am, I backed out of my garage and I looked around. First thing I did was pull up the Fallout 3 soundtrack, and I just played the Fallout song. I was like, I was just like, yep, that is about right.
Put on some Three Dog Radio.
I think I was delivering pizzas during that thing, and I had just bought. So it's like what? It had to be like 6 months, 7 months after COVID had started going like lockdown, everybody wear masks type of stuff. Maybe a little longer than that. Because I had bought a painting respirator, and so I was like, I don't actually need to use this for COVID stuff. Like that's a little too intense. I'll just wear some N95s. But when I was running around delivering pizzas, I had that full gas mask thing on because it was like the air was so thick and smoky. I was like, this is fucking terrible. It's the sky is orange. The sky was orange for like 3 days straight. Yeah. That was the weirdest feeling. Like mentally, it just did not feel okay.
Yeah, the only time
I felt claustrophobic.
The grocery store I worked at gave us appropriate masks
was during
that period of time. Yeah. And like once that ended, they gave us just like the shitty little fucking super thin masks for all the COVID shit. Yeah. But like when the fire was happening, that's the only time we had masks. And even then they were buying what they could from the store next door and not actually like sourcing it anywhere. And I remember having to do carts during that shit. So I'm like, I literally out there for an hour, just like fucking gasping for breath. Cause I'm literally waiting through smoke to put carts away for some asshole to buy cauliflower.
I remember like walking up to people's house with the pizzas and like setting it down or whatever. And then having like one person be like, it's like, why are you wearing a gas mask? And I was like,
have you seen the sky?
I was like, the sky is orange right now.
Have you looked outside?
If I take it off, I won't be able to breathe. Every time I open my car door, there's ash on my dashboard. What do you mean? Like you could see the particulate in the sky. Are you breathing this? I remember when that happened, and I was thinking back to the time 2 years prior there was a fire, and like all of San Francisco downtown had like issued a mask mandate. They were like, oh yeah, there's some smoke in the sky and like ash. It's pretty fucked up. You need to wear some masks. So every like Ace Hardware in downtown San Francisco sold out of the fucking N95 masks within a couple of hours. And I had some still from previous job that I had done, like some previous work that I had done. And I just remember like walking around and being like, man, this is terrible. Like I can barely breathe without this mask. I don't even think it was like a third as bad as it was those days that the fires happened up north. So just like how crazy the difference in that was, because the sky was just gray that day. It wasn't orange.
Yeah. So do you remember that brief period of time during that where like you'd go outside and like ash would just be raining down?
Cars like, just covered in it every time you walk outside.
Yeah, like I remember it was after skies back to normal. Like it's always like I feel like for the rest of that year, everything felt kind of just more like overcast.
There was still like
residual smoke,
and there was like random fires that had popped up still for a while.
There would be like I would see ash falling, and I'd be like, "Oh, something nearby must be on fire." Yeah. Oh well, and then like just get in my car and drive to work. Like that just became fucking normal.
So I remember checking Purple Air all the time, being like, "Oh, should I be outside fucking hiking or whatever the fuck we're doing?" Nope. Okay, cool. I'm staying inside today.
Yeah. So like with New York, kind of going through that similar thing because like parts of Canada are currently on fire. It's like we've been there, so we feel your pain. We know what it's like. I've seen a lot of memes about it, like people from California visiting New York and just like, oh, this is normal. Like, you guys haven't dealt with this shit before. So like, yeah, it's a really weird, fucked up state of being.
You guys haven't seen the Eye of Sauron in the sky yet?
I was thinking of the Eye of Madness from Elden Ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is like when the Erd tree is on fire.
Yeah, there it is.
There's ash everywhere.
I've seen some random stuff about like Fox News hosts talking about like, oh, the liberals are wearing their masks again in New York because blah blah blah. And it's like, oh man, this is actually one of the times where, regardless of how you feel about COVID stuff, you can see the shit you're breathing in the air now. Why are you talking?
Yeah, it's because they politicized masks. Wearing a mask like
for any reason. Makes you.
And it's like you can, if you can see it in the air, you shouldn't breathe it. I'm sorry, like that doesn't make any sense. Like I don't want anything that big.
Seems like a good rule,
right? Oh, just this here's just some wood dust floating in the air. Let me just
say what you will about germ theory, but that is smoke.
yeah.
Okay, look, I'm going to be forthright and honest here. I was the kind of dumb kid in middle school because me and my friends were idiots. And in wood shop, at one point, we put pixie sticks on the table that had sawdust on it. And we snorted pixie sticks and sawdust.
Yep.
So I am definitely the wrong person to be commenting on this, especially because I'm the vape niche guy at the table.
Pixie sticks, Crystal Light, Jello packets.
Any form of powder.
Yeah. If you could put it in a line and snort it up your nose, somebody was doing it.
We did a lot of stupid shit when we were kids.
Yeah.
I feel like it seems like bleak that now this stuff is just happening in other places. You're just like, oh, well, there's not much shit we can do. But like, I feel like we're moving, like you said earlier, we're kind of moving in a direction. Like, not that I'm the most optimistic about it, but it's just like eventually governments will learn that like, hey, if we don't do shit about this, because they're going to look at the bottom line. They're going to look at like the bottom line of like how much money they're losing or how many people are being displaced, shit like that, where they lose money by not actively serving their communities in this way, by like making things fire safe or like literally livable and not like a post-apocalyptic hellscape.
And at the same time, trying to like reduce carbon emissions and all that stuff, like do some stuff like China, who's like the worst example, because like they have numbers wise like way more emissions, CO2 emissions than we do, but per capita it's a third of what the US produces.
I was going to say they are moving to carbon neutral numbers. Like they're getting closer to it.
But like right now, if you look at them, it's like they are doing worse than the US, but it's because their population is so much bigger, and their like numbers per person is literally, it's 1/3 of what the US is doing. So it's like, if you're moving towards stuff like that, as the US should be doing, because it's like totally possible. We have plenty of places we can, if you got federal funding for, put solar or wind farms or something like that. Canada's probably doing more of it. I know there's a couple other countries that are talking about, I think even Mexico was talking about doing like offshore wind farms, which is like super easy.
How do they get the energy if the wind ain't blowing?
You know, that's why you do the offshore ones.
It was
wave generators. I know.
Don't you just blow on it yourself?
It got so windy in this valley after they installed all of those windmills.
All right. Thank you all for listening this week. That was a bit of got a little heavy at the end, but if you made it through, please remember to follow us. Let us know you're listening on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. And I believe now we are on Apple Music as well. So please give us a listen there at Common Rabble Pod. So until next week, see y'all later.
3 Dog.